Do it live. Who's that said that? Do it live.
If we can hear you.
How's my lighting look? I'm in my wife's office. I think it looks great. My face look good?
Has a nice halo effect for you.
Mr. DeMille is ready for your close-up.
That's right. Lighting is key.
Okay, here we go. Good evening. This is the regular meeting of the Planning and Transportation Commission of the City of Mission Viejo on October the 12th, 2020. And this meeting is a virtual meeting. We will commence with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked Commissioner Blum if he will lead us in that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Larry, are we going to have a flag or we'll just pretend? Okay, hand over your heart, please, and ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I note for the record that all 5 commissioners are present, virtually present on the WebEx, and we will proceed immediately with public comments. This is the time for us to receive public comments on any matters that are not on the agenda. Administrative Assistant Hannes, do we have any comments from the public?
No, I have no comments.
Okay, then we'll go to the consent calendar. Is there any commissioner that wants to remove any matter from the consent calendar? Okay, hearing none. Please unmute yourselves, and is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move we approve the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Okay, is there any opposition to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. We move now to new business, which would be, or the public hearing, which is the conditional use permit application for the Avis budget rental car. And I would ask Director Lister for a staff report.
Good evening, Breton. Our planner, Sarah McMillan, will give us a brief report. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman and Planning Commissioners. The item before you tonight is a CUP 2020-413. Commissioner Donald Pierce, the applicant for Avis Budget Rental Car, is requesting to permit a new automobile rental agency to be located in the College Center at 28201 Marguerite Parkway, Suite 13. In the CH or community commercial zone off Marguerite Parkway east of the I-5 freeway between Crown Valley Parkway to the north and Avery Parkway to the south. The site is surrounded by a business park, commercial uses on all sides to the north, south, east, and west. Oh. Can you still hold me? Okay.
I'm sorry, Chair.
Sorry about that.
Are you able to, are you having a problem with your presentation?
No, I just, My sorry about that. My earbuds made a noise. I wasn't quite sure if they were disconnected.
Okay, commissioners, everyone should mute their microphone.
Okay, so sorry, to continue on. The site is surrounded by business park commercial uses on all sides to the north, south, east, and west. Tenants in the commercial center include Roger Dunn Golf Shops, the Violent Shop, Jay's Son Ramen Restaurant, Alberto Tacos, Mexican food, to name a few. The automobile rental agency will occupy an existing 1,114 square foot vacant lease space. Avis has been in business for over 12 years in Mission Viejo and with an existing business at 28570 Marguerite Parkway in the Avery Plaza Center, but needs to relocate from that center due to redevelopment to that property with the Morningstar Assisted Living Facility approved by City Council on January 14, 2020. The facility includes office spaces and a reception area. Hours of operation are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, and 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Sunday. There will be no after-hours customer drop-offs. They are proposing 12 cars in non-designated spaces. Most cars will be parked in the rear of the suite with no more than 3 cars maximum in the front or the main parking lot area. Parking has been reviewed by the city's traffic engineer, has been determined available on-site parking adequate for this use in the college center. So lastly, we received one email letter from support from Mary Lindsay in support of the new location and the opportunity to continue to do business with Avis Budget Rental Car. So based on the information presented tonight, staff recommends the commission adopt a resolution approving CUP 2020-413, subject to the findings and conditions of approval of the resolution, and I'm available for answer questions.
Thank you, Ms. McMillan. And I note that you have a new position with the city. You're not only a planning assistant, but also economic development assistant. So congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Are there any questions of staff? All right, then I open the public hearing, and I would like to advise those members of the public that may be live streaming that if they want to make a comment, voice support or opposition to this application for a conditional use permit, please dial 949-470-8464 right now. And you will be placed in a queue in a line so that you can speak to the commission. Let's hear from the applicant. Mr. Pierce. Go ahead. Mr. Pierce, can you hear me?
Listen.
Okay, then you have the floor. You have 10 minutes to make a presentation or just to answer questions if that's all you want to do. It's up to you. Can't hear you.
He's muted.
We cannot hear you, Mr. Pierce. There we did.
You can hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead.
Great. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation. Avis Budget has been, as Ms. McMillan said, in the Mission Viejo area for 12 years, serving the community for a variety of needs, whether it be for business, leisure, or for replacing cars due to technical difficulties, shall we say. our current area that we are about a quarter of a mile away is changing business demands and is going to be redeveloped into, I believe, an adult community center. And so we looked around and found this place, which we feel is almost identical to our current business model as far as size of the office and type of community center, and it's on the same street. So we feel it'll be very easy to maintain our similar business model. The person who operates the store will continue to operate the store. He's done that for the last 10 years. So we think this will be an easy move over to the other location. I know in most of my meetings, when I request a CUP from various cities, it's always a concern about the parking. And I always like to bring up the fact that we rent cars, we don't sell them. So we do not wish to have a large display line. If you sell a lot of cars, so what we like to do at that point is move the cars to nearby locations. We have one in Laguna Niguel, we have another one in San Juan Capistrano, and we're going to be opening up another one in Rancho Santa Margarita. So moving cars around to keep the minimum amount of cars there is not an issue for us. And due to the parking that's behind the building, that's where the majority of the cars will be. Very simple as far as the office itself. For us to move in, we're basically don't take a lot. We move in there's an existing counter, and we have a couple of items to meet the city standards just to take care of. But then it's just paint, cleaning it up and putting up some signage. And our sign company has already talked to the city, and it'd be very easy for us to meet the qualifications for the city and the shopping center. We look forward to the move and to stay in Mission Viejo for many years to come. Anyone has any questions? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. Each member of the commission have a question. Yes, Commissioner. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Yes. Hey, Don. Don, what is your relationship, or what is the business relationship with AB?
Is an independent contractor who works basically runners. That's his business. He gets a percentage of the proceeds that come through the door, and as a result, his you might say he has a very vested interest in the business.
Well, okay. I'm familiar with two different ends of this angle. Where you're going, I had my business in that center for about 30 years, and it's a fantastic center. You're gonna love it. It's like you already said, it's like a perfect switch for you. It's a combination. You're less than a quarter of a mile away, same size, same almost everything. It's really an ideal spot. You're gonna love it. In AB, for my colleagues there's nobody better. I thought I was the hardest working guy in Mission Viejo. That is wrong. AB is the #1 guy. This guy is the most conscientious. I'd get to work at 7 a.m. He would already be working. And this is for about 10 years. I worked alongside of him. We had our businesses almost shared a wall. There was one business in between us. And I mean, he is as honest, and he keeps a clean operation. You know, we are concerned at the city level about parking and situations with neighbors. Are you going to be a good neighbor? Are you going to fit in? Nobody fits in like AB. I mean, he just was the best neighbor. If you asked anybody who's the best neighbor in our center, and it would come up me. But next to me, it would be AB, and I'm half kidding on that. AB is absolutely just the greatest guy to have in our city and work. And I'm so glad that you have found a spot so close and in Mission Viejo. I know that's a few years back you had a situation where San Juan was on the roadmap, and so I'm glad you stayed here in Mission Viejo. And I just want my colleagues to know that the guy running it is just top notch. Next door for 10 years to him. So thanks, Don. No more questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Nauerhase.
Yeah, just a quick question. When people return the cars, you guys wash the cars. Where do you wash the cars? And where do you empty out all the trash from the cars?
As far as like the trash and that, we'll have like a portable thing to put the trash into at the place. But as far as washing the cars, we go to car washes, either a self car washing place or a drive-through at a gas station similar to that. And then we take care in regard to the new policies as far as making sure we clean the cars and sanitize it so that we can help in regard to the COVID situation. That's done on the lot, but that's simply a spray and wipe deal on the interior of the vehicle.
Okay, so it won't be like some car rental places like I know Enterprise, they pull the car behind the building and they hose it down right there. And there's water runoff and there's trash blowing around everywhere. You guys go completely off site and don't bother your neighbors with that.
Commissioner, I can kind of answer a little of that too, because I saw it for 10 years. They have a relationship. This is, a year ago, they had a relationship with, like Don said, the car wash down the way. And they would take it to the car wash, run it through which is about 100, 200 feet away from the location. And they had a special relationship with it, move them right through, bring them in, crystal clean. All right, that's all. Nothing else. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your presentation, Dave.
Any other commissioner have a question of the applicant? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I'll open it up to the public at this time. And I would ask Angela, do we have any callers?
No, there are no calls waiting.
Okay. If we have no more comments or questions of Mr. Pierce and no public comments, then I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'll open it up for comments, or I'll entertain a motion to approve the recommended action and adopt the resolution. Yes, Commissioner Lekness.
I would like to make a recommendation or a
Motion.
a motion. Thank you, to go along with staff's recommendation and approve this. Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's seconded by Commissioner Blum. Any further discussion? Is there any opposition to this motion? It passes unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Pierce. We look forward to your move and your continued presence in the city. Thank you. At this time, we'll move on to the next item, which is an application for a special sign permit at the former Walgreens building in the Trabuco Plaza. And we'll start with a staff report on this. Director Lister.
Mr. Chairman, Planner Tim Martin will give us a staff report. Thank you.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman and fellow members of the commission. Let me get the slideshow on. Can everyone see that?
No,
You shared the meeting screen.
Let me try that again.
yeah, we're looking at your screen of all of the images of the participants.
Hold on. There we go. How's that?
it. That's it. That's good.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Thanks for being patient. Okay, this is special sign permit 2020-173, and it's signage for a retail building that the director of community development went ahead and approved with the design review's blessing to get a re-image on the buildings and on the building. And this building is at the corner of Santa Margarita and Marguerite. It is the old Walgreens, and Walgreens moved out, and this developer is going to re-lease it out and did a re-image, as I stated. And instead of one full area for Walgreens, they're separating in 3 different tenant spaces. And at one time, it was 3 different tenant spaces, but they're going to do it again. And they would like to get new signage, and the signage does not meet the code as far as square footage. So here is the building, and it's broken down into 3 tenants, as you can see. So it's actually, it's at the major corner of Santa Margarita and the small street of Tribuco Hill Center. And the center itself, the Tribuco Center, is to the north of here, but this building is within the parking lot. As you can see, they're going to separate it into 2 end caps and 1 inline tenant. And what they're requesting is they're requesting 7 signs. The end caps would have 3 signs, and that's shown here in yellow. And then the interior inline tenant would have 2 signs. And then they're requesting 3 signs for the other end cap. And the way the code works is you get 1 square foot of signage for 1 linear foot of the building. So as you can see here, the building is 145 feet long, but it's done by tenant spaces. So each one of those tenant spaces, the middle one is only 40 feet wide, and then the other 2 are 45. So you don't get much signage, and they would like signage on all sides because they've dramatically changed this building and they want it to look good, and they want to promote the different tenants to not only people on Santa Margarita Parkway, but 4 sides of the architecture. So at the entrance there at Tribuco Hill Center, and then if you're walking out of, let's say, Sprouts, which is in the center, you would see signage, or if you're at, let's say, the Irish restaurant to the northwest. So they're asking for 7 signs, and they're asking for, in some cases, double the code. But there is justification from other buildings that the commission has approved with that amount. So here is again what they're asking for. So the end caps, they have a total maximum allowable of 45 linear feet. So they get 45 feet and 45 feet in today's code. But they're asking for 90 feet. So they have a sign on one side and a sign on the other. And then a third one out towards Santa Margarita Parkway. And the inline store, they only get 40 feet, but they're requesting 60 feet. So they can have a sign on one side and a sign on the other. So this is one of the elevations. This is the west elevation. So this is the side you would see from the bagel store, if you're familiar with that is, Einstein Bagels, or the Irish restaurant, you would see these 3 signs. And they went ahead and, they're going to go ahead and rehab this building. They got approval, as I said, from the Director of Community Development to really add some nice facade treatments, and they're asking for the signage. So this is the west elevation. This is the east elevation, which would be if you're going into the center. So this is the side that faces the Tribuco Hills Center. And then the south elevation, which would face Santa Margarita Parkway. And then the north elevation, if you're coming out of Sprouts, one of those stores, you would see that. So there is some justification, as I stated. We do have about 3 centers that I'm going to show you that the commission went ahead and approved more signage than what's allowed. So this is a good representation of one of the centers, and it's it's not built yet, but you're aware of the Target on Alicia, and the commission approved the two buildings at Alicia and Charlinda, and these two buildings are over the code, just like this. They're having signs on 4 sides. Oops. Here we go. Here's a close-up of it, of the 2 buildings that are yet to be built. And here's a representation of what you're going to see at that building. So it's very similar to what's before you tonight. And here's another elevation, again, showing 4 tenants with signs in front and rear, and the corner sides have 3 signs, just like they're proposing tonight. And here's some of the signage, just examples. And then there's another development that the commission approved more signage on the front and the rear, and in some cases on 3 sides. And this is the old Coco's location at Crown Valley and the 5 freeway. So the old Coco's building is the building on the right in this site plan. And then the new building that was built with 3 inline shops, and they have signs on either side, and the end cap has 3. And here's a close-up of that. This also includes the monuments. This applicant is not requesting any monuments at the subject location. And here's what it looks like, the elevations of that Crown Vista Plaza. And then we have Gateway Plaza. I think you're familiar with this. This used to be a gas station at one time, and it's at the corner of Muirlands and La Paz. And a new tenant building went in there a number of years ago. I want to say about 10 years ago. But you see where the green arrows are, and that's where signage was permitted. And you can see it's on 3 sides, and it's over the maximum allowable. This is very similar to the product before you tonight project. And at this time, we're recommending approval of this project. Staff would like to add something to the resolution. So if I could, on condition 4, for clarity, we would like to add the following to condition 4, which if you look at it, goes down to E. We would like to add an F, G, and H. And F would say that letter height, there's a lettering on the building, the letter height shall not exceed 18 inches high. And then G would be logo shall not exceed 22 inches high. And then H would read that all lettering and logos shall all count towards the sign area. And there's some other fixes that staff will make on the resolutions and the staff report, but they're minor in nature compared to these. So just wanted to go over that with you. So this project was reviewed for the signage with design review, and that was under Commissioner Reich and Blum on September 30th, and I'm sure they'll want to make some comments tonight. But at this time, we are recommending approval, and I'm available for any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Senior Planner Martin. Before we open it to questions of staff, let me hear a brief report from Vice Chairman Reich on your Design Review Committee review of this matter. Did you have any concerns or questions?
Mr. Chairman, no. Commissioner Blum and I looked over this project. I think really what we see here is an evolution in businesses within Mission Viejo, perhaps Orange County, where you have a standalone business that indeed is doing business or needs to have representation on multiple sides of the building. Because it isn't a traditional building where the back, you might say, is the storage area where you take your product in, and the front is for the public. The public has visibility on businesses like this all over the building. In other words, from all sides, and can be seen from multiple streets. So our feeling, and I certainly will ask Commissioner Blum to chime in here, is that our current sign policy at some point probably will need to be adjusted. But right now, I think just making these variances to allow businesses like this to operate and to be able to have the signage necessary to do adequate business is important for them to succeed. And I don't find it to be blightful or have any issues that would cause the city and the business to be represented in a poor way or a non-visual way that would detract from our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Blum, you agree?
Thank you. Yeah, Commissioner Reish and I spent a lot of time reviewing this application, and nowadays the sign companies do a lot of signage in good taste, and the way the buildings are orientated today aren't the traditional. You got the back of the building against a retaining wall or just a little alley. These buildings need um, need a way to be recognized as far as the businesses go. And I totally agree with Commissioner Reish. We need to be able to allow the businesses to show where they're at and what they are. So I felt this applicant did a good job, and I support this application for approval.
Thank you. Do either of you on the Design Review Committee have any remaining questions of staff? Okay. Any other commissioners have questions of staff? Okay. Then I'll open it to the public. And first of all, we're going to hear from Mr. Kuwahara of the Pacific Sign Center. He made the application as the agent for the landlord. So Mr. Kuwahara, could you please go ahead and make your presentation? And let's all mute our microphone so he can speak.
Okay, well, I'm looking for a picture here and I can't find it.
Mark, do you want me to use my pictures? This is Tim.
This is it showing up? No.
Are you sharing the upper left?
Oh, I didn't share it. Okay. Yeah, I had it.
Is it a different picture than I've shown, Mark? I can show mine.
You know, I wanted to show a halo lit letter, Tim.
Why don't you describe it? I think you could do a good job of describing it.
Well, you know, what we propose for this building, because the architecture is so nice, is to do a straight halo channel letter, which is a softer light. It would do wonders if I could figure out how to get it up here, but it really makes a big difference. It's a really rich looking sign. Yep. Let me try it here.
Maybe I could help out, Mark. So basically what Mark is talking about is if you envision the side of the building, you have a channel letter sign, and then behind the sign, you have a light that lights up the sign. And it's like one of the newest lighting treatments that you can do. I've seen it in Newport Beach and Costa Mesa, where you have a very old building, and the buildings really pop when you light them from behind. Right, Mark? Is that what you're trying to basically show?
We're still trying to get that picture up.
Yeah, it is a really neat look, and you end up to see the sign from further away. So your typical channel letter sign, let's say you can see from, I don't know, 200 feet away, very clear. But when you halo it, it really pops. And so in some really nice shopping centers these days, you see the halo. And so what Mark is proposing is that all the signs on this this rehab building would be halo, to have the halo effect, which is a very rich look. So staff is very supportive of the look.
You know, it's that old saying, a picture tells 1,000 words. I just can't find it.
Yes, and also Tim, Commissioner Reish and myself support that halo look. It makes it really look classy for that building with that architecture.
Well, I apologize, Mr. Kuwahara, if you can't show us the picture, but I want to read to you one sentence from the 3rd page of the staff report. The signs would be internally illuminated from either front illumination, reverse/halo illumination, or a combination of both. So are you saying now that all of them are going to be the halo illumination? Yes. Okay, good. I like that because that way they're all uniform. Are there any questions of Mr. Kurihara from the commission?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we'll just make sure that the new sign program will definitely state that they're all halo.
Yes, please. Let's change that sentence in the staff report. Okay, good. Ms. Harris, do we have any callers from the public? The number is 470-8464.
There are no callers.
Okay. This does not require a public hearing, but I'm opening it up to the public just in case there's anyone out there who wants to speak to this, either a merchant or a member of the public. Okay, then let's return it back to the commission. Any further discussion on the item? Yes, Commissioner Leknes.
You know, I love it that we're taking this building that was one business and we're turning it into 3 different businesses. Because whenever you see a small business going in, that means someone has invested some money, someone has decided to take a risk in our city. And the key to having what we want at our level is to make it look great. And you've got Mark there with Pacific Sign. I got to tell you, he's got to be the best. He's done signs for my customers. I know people that he's done signs for. In fact, one of his crowning glory, Mark's crowning glory along Marguerite Parkway is a business called Quick Copy Printing.
Oh.
That's right. He's done ours, and people come from all around the land to see ours at night. So when you want a quality sign, which is what we want, he knows what he's doing. He's got some years of behind him in the profession, and this halo effect, I don't even know what it is, but if he's behind it, I know it's got to be good.
Well, it's certainly not a halo effect around you, Commissioner. Actually, you better watch out what you say. The more you talk, the more I may have to rule have a conflict of interest.
That's funny. All right. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that. And, welcome to the city.
Mr. Kurihara, we see it now.
Yep. So that's the look.
That's very nice. Very classy.
The brightness of the sign down. So a lot of people that actually want it because it's a richer look to the sign. So
It looks great. Okay, all commissioners can see this, I assume. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the commission view. I need to go back to the other view where I can see the commissioners. So let's stop your sharing. There we go. Good. All right. Any further comments on this item? Hearing none, then is there a motion to approve the recommended action and to adopt the resolution with those 3 added conditions, F, G, and H?
So moved.
It's moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Any opposition to the motion? It passes unanimously. Very good. Congratulations, Mr. Kurihara. And good luck with that particular building. We look forward to seeing those boutique tenants that are going to move in there. All right, let's move on to the next matter on the agenda, which is director's report. Director Lister, do you have any report that you would like to make? Any comment?
The only one I have, Chairman, is typically around late October, we do an Orange County Planning Directors Forum. It's typically held at the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda. Fortunately, this year we cannot do it in person, so we're going to hold it virtually. I've kind of stepped up and helping them plan one of the sessions. It's on November 5th. it's actually I'm doing 2 sessions. One is a panel on housing, the state's housing requirements and the position cities in trying to accommodate housing numbers. And the other is on homelessness. So they're both fairly timely issues. I will send you out a save the date. There's other sessions as well that start in October. Each session is an hour. And again, it is virtual, a little harder kind of sit through the virtual sessions, but I'll send the save the date flyer to you in the next day or so. That's it. That's all I have. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner comments, please raise your hand if you have a comment to make to the commission. I see none, so the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. And we adjourn to November the 9th, 2020, and hopefully to be in the council chambers. Thank you.
I'll look forward to seeing you face to face.
Yes.
Yeah, and Chairman Breton, this Mr. Blum, warm your voice. That's my birthday that day. You're going to sing happy birthday.
Oh, yes. We shall do that. We'll bring
Happy
cake as
birthday.
well.
We'll do it.
Thank you and good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
First,
Very quick, Bob. Look at you, man. You got somewhere to go tonight or what?
Well, I have a bet. I have to cash in on a bet. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.